This is a documentary about the stray dogs of Turkey. Dogs often mean different things to different people. From an adorable puppy, a companion, a worker, a protector of the home, and for those on the wrong side of them, a danger. But the relationship between dogs and humans hasn't always been a good one. Throughout the world, dogs have been rejected, feared, and mistreated. Such a dog becomes an outcast, living one's life semi-wild and scavenging the streets. However, in Turkey, people have taken to the stray dogs with kindness. This documentary will look at two groups of stray dogs, those on the beach and those living by the river. The dogs will be followed over a year period in the year of the dog. On the beach of Canakkale, a young Labrador pup called Buppy is in the midst of finding himself in a difficult world. Amongst him are two other dogs, Sayat, a black female retriever, and Balrog, an old male. By the river lives a pack of 3 dogs. The big female with the fluffy coat is Bays. The small female is Monique. Word on the street has it that she was abused and left home to live as a stray. Untrusting of humans, she chose the company of other dogs. The male of the pack is Boone. Over time, he's worn numerous scars from guarding his 2 females. Dogs share similarities to humans in behaviour, emotions, and social structures. Much like humans, they cooperate in complex and pro-social ways within their clan, with respect to hunting, raising offspring, and protecting them. It's early morning on the beach, and several new dogs enter the territory of the pack. Bappy stays back cautiously, while Sayat and Balrog investigate the new dogs. In the life of a stray, there are many such dealings, with always various dogs passing through. The new dogs show no signs of aggression, and soon enough, everything calms down again. And of course, with the other dogs being friendly, it's a chance for Bappy to learn some new social skills. Play makes an opportunity to learn one's place, hierarchy, and boundaries without fighting or conflict. The stray lives its life more freely, learning not through obedience, but through interactions with other dogs, animals, and humans. Dogs, like other social animals and humans, will show behaviours of intelligence and emotions, which are both key in surviving socially. Balrog, the older dog, is uninterested in the play. But for the other dogs, it's a learning experience, as well as being fun. In the morning, the beach gets cleaned, and the rubbish, mound of dirt and seaweed become a new playing attraction for the dogs. Bappy plays with her new friend, Kafaringa. Dogs will often demonstrate the submissive behaviours you see, to show that they are not a threat to the other. Such behaviour shows the dog's desire for friendship rather than conflict. It's also a chance for Bappy to establish himself in the hierarchy of dogs, in this case, below. As the day goes on, the dogs settle down. Each dog has its personality, habit, or routine. Here we see Balrog relaxing and observing, always watchful. Here Sage sleeps after being exhausted by play, unaware of the goings-on the beach. Over time, the bond between these dogs starts to deepen as trust develops between them. Down by the river, I'm greeted by Monique rolling on her back. It seems there's a new visitor, a small friendly dog called Turunji. In the pack, Baze and Boo show their affection for one another. Like children, play is a sure way of bonding between dogs, although jealousy is also an emotion clearly expressed. It's early morning, and the dogs on the beach are back to their routine and social life. And with the hot sun beating down, the dogs take a moment to cool off in the water. With temperatures reaching record highs, the dogs take the chance to rest and conserve their energy. Down by the river, it's a similar story. With the local culture being aware of animals' needs, leftovers and scraps are often left outside. Such mindfulness of the local people provide the strays with plenty to eat. And as the weeks pass, Bappy slowly grows bigger and stronger. It's September, the summer season is over, and the cool winds have already arrived on the beach of Canakkale. A lot of the dogs have left the beach area. Remaining are both Bappy and Saya. As some dogs from the previous season move on, other new dogs move onto the scene, forming the new pack. The new blonde dog is called Nazik, which means kindness in Turkish. It's been 3 months since Bappy appeared as a puppy. Now he's almost fully grown. Spending so many months together, it would seem both Bappy and Saya have become inseparable. With no more people on the beach, the dogs turn to spending more time on the streets in search of food. Back by the river, I'm greeted by little Monique. It seems she has started to become more familiar with the camera and my presence. In the course of 3 months, these dogs by the river have so far been inseparable. Whatever the relationship between the three, It seems they have an understanding between each other. It's not always clear why some dogs only accept certain other dogs while others are rejected. It's said alpha females are more likely to bond with beta females, the more submissive type. But like us humans, we often find dogs uniquely different in their personalities. And like some things in life, it could just be a case of personal preference. The first rains since the long summer are finally here. From now on, the weather will get colder, and in the coming months, staying together and survival will be important. The next day, Bappy and Sayat are back on the beach, enjoying some brief sunshine. Then it's back on the streets, and so it is, day after day, following the same routine: play, bonding, and scavenging for food.
I cannot say that I know you well, but you can't lie to me with all these books that you sell. I'm not trying to follow you to the end of the world, just trying to leave something behind. Words have come from many mouths, oh, but I can't help thinking that I've heard the wrong crowd. When all the water is gone, my job will be too, and I'm just trying to leave something behind. Oh, money is free, but love costs more than our bread. In the ceiling it's hard to reach. Oh, the future ahead is broken and red, and I'm trying to leave something behind. This whole world is a foreign land. We swallow the moon, but we don't know our own hand. We're running with the case, oh, but we ain't got the gold. And we're trying to leave something behind. Oh, my friends, I believe we are at the wrong side, and I cannot read what I did not write. I've been to his house, oh, but the master is gone. But I'd like to leave something behind. Oh, there is a beast who's taking my brain. You can put me to bed, but you can't feel my pain. when the machine has taken the soul from the man. It's time to leave something behind.
It's October. The cold weather's arrived, and the leaves are starting to fall. The pack by the river are expanding their territory into cat territory. As the dogs have learned, wherever there are cats, there is no shortage of food. Meanwhile, down on the beach, there are no signs of any dogs. It seems with the cold weather, they've gone to look for more warmer places to sleep. I find Sayed wandering the streets with a new friend, but there is no sign of Bappy. And despite searching the streets, he is nowhere to be found. Instead, I find Sayed in the company of Balrog, the older man. Sayed is one of the more beast dogs, not only by knowing the streets well, but also the local shops and restaurant owners. As the month progresses, the rains set in. The winter is coming. Soon it will be a difficult time for the dogs. It's November. Very little green remains. I see Monique curled up next to Bays, trying to find some warmth. Then later, as the day warms up, the dogs are back into cat territory, looking for food. Down on the beach it's a different story. The sands are bare, and there is not a dog in sight. Later I find Sayed walking the streets, but this time alone. It's been well over a month since I've last seen Bappy. It's a common occurrence in the world of stray dogs that a dog will suddenly go missing, either hit by a car, taken away, poisoned, or for whatever reason, it disappears. From my own observation of wolves, the lone wolf believed to be rare is more common in areas where there is abundance of food. the situation seems strikingly similar with dogs. These dogs don't have to hunt, and for that reason having friends and company seems to be far more often than not for socializing. A few days later, I'm back on the beach to find a new friend spending time with Sayat. This gigantic dog is named Büyük, which means big in Turkish. He is a famous Turkish breed known as the Kangal. Perhaps the play is not so tempting with such a gigantic dog as it was with Bappy. But this is the reality of the life of a stray. New dogs come while others move on. Back by the river, however, nothing has changed. It's December, and most of the trees have lost their leaves. The riverbank is constantly battered by cold, harsh winds. Across the river is market day, and dogs lie in wait to feed off scraps. Cold times often mean hungry times for the dogs. On the rare days of sunlight, the pack will soak up as much sun as they can. With the strong constant winds by the river, the dogs move inland to escape the cold. I find them taking shelter and sleeping in a nearby park. In one park, I find Sayat. It has been many weeks since I've seen her, and she is very pleased to see me. She is with Nazik, and they both follow me to the beach. Since Bappy disappeared, Sayat has found a new playmate. Both dogs clearly love the attention and company of people. and of course, each other. It's the cold winter of January. It seems the pack have a visitor. Turunja is back. Turunja tries her luck to integrate with the pack once more, only to be seen off. Monique has a rare find, a cheese pastry. Food like this becomes precious, and so she looks for a place to hide it. The instinctual behavior of hiding food is rooted in the ancestry of many different animals, not only to hide its scent from scavengers, but for reasons of keeping it fresh. The snow starts to fall on the streets of Canakkale. First icy sleet, then thick snow. I scour the streets in search of Monique and the pack. To my relief, I find them, cuddled and sheltered together. As the daytime temperatures warm, they are back out on the streets again. Luckily for the dogs, the winter snow doesn't last long. As the sun quickly melts the snow, the dogs are back out on the streets, hungry, looking for food. Back on the beach I find Saya, proudly in possession of a bone. It seems she has properly survived the harshest side of the winter. I find her once again in the kind company of Nizik. And what's more, there is another new friend. One thing I have learned from following the dogs over the many months, through the different seasons, is how inseparable they are from their environments. During the cold winter months, they seek out places of shelter and hiding, and when the sun comes out, they make the most of it. It's February, and the pack by the river are enjoying some rare afternoon sunshine. Later on, however, there is some tension by the river as some new dogs enter the pack's territory. A young timid pup finds himself in amongst the pack. Cleverly, he manages to avoid himself conflict by acting submissively with his tail between his legs. Soon enough, the other dogs have gone, leaving Boone to establish himself as top dog once more. Over the next few weeks, I find Monique missing, with Boone and Bears on their own.
Evet, bir tane daha vardı, o gelmeye çalıştı bunlarla ama kabul etmediler. Bir tane daha vardı köpek.
Kahverengi mi?
Kahverengi bir tane.
O buradaydı. Burada bir iki tane köpek onu istememiş.
İstememiş ya, bunlar
İstememişler. O tarafa gitti. Oradan da bilmiyorum, şu an bulamam. Ben her gün ona mama götürüyorum ama bir iki hafta.
It's March, springtime in Canakkale. The weather is warming up. The grass is starting to grow again, and spring flowers are starting to bloom. Monique is back with the pack, enjoying the new warm weather. Nearby the river, other dogs play. The The black and white dog looks distinctively familiar. Perhaps the offspring of Boone himself. It seems this Boone Jr. has a playmate. However, the two keep their distance from the pack, spending most of their time on the further side of the river. Boone Sr., on the other hand, is resting. A scar across his nose suggests he has been in a recent fight. Meanwhile, Boone Jr. is feasting on some spoils. Cleverly, he seems to have positioned himself on the opposite side of a restaurant. During the day, the kind people bring leftovers from the restaurant, which Boone Jr. happily devours. With the location being a good one, he sees to it that any competition is quickly chased away. It's April, and the cherry blossoms are blooming. Down at the beach, although the spring sun is shining, there are still no signs of any dogs. Back by the river, I see the pack exploring through the long grass. It's coming up to almost a year since I've known the pack. Over the time, they've become more comfortable with my presence, greeting me often with a warm welcome and sometimes even accompanying me on my walks by the river. As another month comes to an end, there's a heaviness in my heart that these things are temporary, these beautiful moments with the dogs, and although I will move on, they will always remain in my heart. It's May. The pack seem to be expanding their territory to the other side of the river. and there are some new dogs hanging around the pack. The white dog has its tail between its legs and is acting submissively. Boone seems to be asserting that he is still the first male of the pack. The white dog shows signs of being bitten or attacked. It seems Boone has once again successfully guarded his females. Over 1 year, Boone has been challenged numerous times and never failed to show himself as top dog. Time has almost come full circle, and with the 12 months almost up, I decide to take a walk to check to see if there are any dogs on the beach. To my surprise, Monique follows me all the way outside her usual territory, all the way to the beach. Perhaps she could sense my time was finishing, that things were soon coming to a close, and like any good friend, was paying her last respects. One thing that I have learned over filming this documentary is that it is us humans who are the lonely ones. In search of companionship, we turn our pets into humans, sometimes into our children. But eventually children grow up. They learn to talk back, make their own decisions, and eventually leave home. Our pets don't. They live with us in temperature-controlled homes, eating processed foods, being denied many of their natural instincts. Could one say that the stray is more happier?
But my home is the lowlands, and it always will be. Someday you'll return to your valleys and your farms, and no longer burn to be brothers in arms. Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I have witnessed your suffering as the